The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on of the town and villages that we cover. This week we're going to start with Mike Falk in the town of Lima. Mike, what's going on there?
Hi, Chris. Thanks for hosting us again. For those of you who are watching this, tomorrow would be Memorial Day, and the parade in Lima kicks off at 9:30 from the Lima Primary School down 15A, left over to the town hall where the ceremonies will be. And then immediately after that, there will be food available, hot dogs and such over at the firehouse. And 12:30, there is a luncheon over at Legion Post 282. The Skahaza Ga'o state marker that's on routes 5 and 20 is going to get spruced up by the DAR, which is also the Skahaza Ga'o chapter. They're going to be arranging to have the piece restored and appropriately relocated a little bit down the street so that there's not as much salt splash onto that blue and white historical marker, which has destroyed the paint. The dedication of the dog park at Mark Tubbs Park is going to be Sunday, June 9th at 9 a.m. Over there at the dog park. If that is something that you would like to go and see, everyone is welcome to see the sort of the official grand opening, even though it's been in use since the first of the year. The German Festival, also June 9th, 11 to 7 a.m. Take routes 5 and 20 between Lima and West Bloomfield and follow the signs. From the Livingston County side, May was declared Mental Health Awareness Month in Livingston County. The first observed in 1949, Mental Health Awareness Month serves as an opportunity to bring the attention to the importance of mental well-being. Livingston County has partnered with a company called Credible Mind. This is a state-of-the-art online platform that helps residents understand their mental health needs and connect them with the vital resources within their community to sort of give them a hand. You can go to that portal. If you just go to livingstoncounty.crediblemind.com. And lastly, May is also Foster Care Month. The Department of Social Services in Livingston County wants everyone to know how important a service this is, foster caring for children. If you are interested in playing a role in the foster care program, please contact DSS at 585-243-7300. And that's all I've got, Chris.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Now, who's up to bat next? Oh, it's Rick Milne. Rick Milne from the Honeoye Falls Village. Rick, what's going on there?
Well, Chris, thanks again, as always, for having us on. And just want to start out, of course, by saying a very happy Memorial Day weekend to everyone. And I hope not only the weather holds up, but we hope everyone can get out and pay their honors and their respect to those who have given so much for our great nation. So I'm going to start out a little bit today with Monroe County legislative activities. It's been a busy week. Earlier this week, the AAPI, the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, was recognized by Monroe County. And this is the first time that the county has done this. And it's recognition for this group, recognizing them for their incredible contributions to Monroe County and our region. And the Asian American Pacific Islander heritage group, if you will, is really one of the fastest growing groups in the Monroe County area, and they're just so very active, and it's great that Monroe County has taken the opportunity to recognize them, and this will now be an annual recognition. I was also able to attend a couple special recognition events for two generally local business areas. Island Wraps, which is in West Henrietta, celebrated 10 years of business, and I was able to attend that celebration. And then also a new business in the hamlet of Mendon on Assembly Drive, Pat's Pigs Barbecue and Catering. Their bricks and mortar building is now open, and we wish them all continued success and best wishes to these businesses. I also attended a local celebration here in the village of Honeoye Falls in town of Mendon for a local Girl Scout, Mary Rapace. Mary achieved her Gold Star Award by transforming the two front rooms of the old Mendon Public Library on Monroe Street. And this is now the new Todiacan Girl Scout House. And I want to just also offer kudos to the town of Mendon board for approving this fantastic use. But Mary put in over 90 hours of work on this project along with her team, and it is absolutely an incredible use of these two rooms. So kudos to Mary. Also, Monroe County celebrated its first Our Community Celebrates event on Wednesday evening. This was an incredible event that honors every Monroe County high school student graduating in 2024 that has committed to and has enlisted in the United States Armed Forces. There were 70 students honored. The event took place at Oak Hill Country Club, where all the new enlistees took their official oath of honor and were officially welcomed into the military. And it was truly a meaningful and heartwarming event. And to have 70 high school graduating students from Monroe County joining the armed forces is just absolutely incredible. So we wish them all the best and thank them for their dedication. And it's perfect timing as we get into Memorial Day celebrations. The village of Honeoye Falls, right now, it's all about construction projects. We've reported on this a couple of times over the last few weeks, but the West Main Street project is underway. This is the sidewalk project. But as reported briefly last week, National Fuel came to the table a bit late in the planning process. And they're fully involved now with new natural gas lines going into the same area that we're going to do our sidewalk project. So that set us back a couple of weeks. They will be installing gas lines and are currently doing that on West Main Street from Episcopal to Norton. And then in addition, work will be done replacing a line across West Main Street to the West Main Street, to the town hall side of West Main Street, and then north to the Four Corners, right down the middle of that sidewalk. So a lot of construction going on. As the first portion of the natural gas line project is completed, our village project will commence, and that sidewalk rehabilitation project and road crossing project will continue. Then directly after the village project is completed, Monroe County DOT will mill and resurface all of West Main Street from the Four Corners to the village line. Now, on top of that, New York State DOT has scheduled a bridge project on the East Street Bridge crossing over the Honeoye Creek at the Village Hall. They will be working underneath that bridge, jackhammering much of the concrete and replacing it. This will take the full month of June. The timing, in conjunction with our other projects, is not great, but at the same time, I guess we're getting them all done at once, which could be considered a positive, I think. It is important to note that the south side sidewalk on the bridge, this is the side that's on the Village Hall side of the bridge, that will be closed to pedestrian traffic during the project during daytime hours when while the work is being completed. The sidewalk will be reopened in the evening and on weekends when the work is not being completed. Proper signage and barriers will be placed. The road lane will not be closed for much of the project, but that may change when the new concrete is being pumped over the bridge wall, underneath the bridge, and we will update that as best as possible. The HFL High School or the HFL School District and Emergency Services have been alerted to this project. Lastly, Memorial Day celebrations. As always, there are multiple parades honoring our service members and those who have sacrificed all in service to our great nation. There are parades on Memorial Day. The North Bloomfield parade lineup is at 8:15 a.m., and that starts right at the intersection of Route 65 or Clover Street, if you will, or I'm sorry, Ontario Street, where the intersection of Quaker Meeting House Road is and goes to the North Bloomfield Cemetery. Then the Mendon Parade lineup begins at 9:15 a.m., goes from Westminster Hall to the Mendon Cemetery. And as I said, that assembly begins at 9:15. St. Paul of the Cross Cemetery is at 10:30 a.m. in the village of Honeoye Falls. That is right at the cemetery. And then the Honeoye Falls Parade assembly begins at 8:15 a.m. and the parade goes from the HFL High School to the Honeoye Falls Cemetery. And I understand a presentation by Senator Pam Helming, and then a place of the wreath and color guard will all take place. And lastly, I just want to say that for the first time in 40 years, I will not be in the community for Memorial Day weekend, and I'm going to miss these parades. And I do this with mixed emotions, but I will be at ceremonies in Virginia, where I'll be visiting my brother and will be taking part in cemetery ceremonies there. I hope that all have a wonderful holiday weekend and ask that all pay their respects to those who have served and given their all. And as always, ask that question of yourself. Am I worthy of their sacrifice? Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Rick. Now it's over to John Moffett in Mendon. What's going on there?
Well, we had a little bit of excitement this week. The Girl Scout Troop House, which is at the former Mendon Public Library on Monroe Street, was officially dedicated, and Mary Repass, a young lady who's a scout, did a lot of work there to make that space available for the Girl Scouts as far as storage, meetings, that type of thing. Previously, they had utilized people's garages and living rooms for those types of activities, but now they have that space for their use, which everyone's very excited about. And it's quite frankly, a great use of that space from the town of Mendon's side. That is the front part of the youth center, and that was the original library. At least when I was a kid, that was the library. Not a huge space, but it's working well for the Girl Scouts. All the flags and banners are up for Memorial Day in the hamlet of Mendon, as well as our neighboring communities. Just want to remind everyone that we do keep those up until Veterans Day, so please appreciate it. It's a beautiful sight, driving down the street with all the flags and banners. Let's see. Need my glasses for this one. Oh, there's no primary day in Mendon. Primary day is coming up in June. This is an election for primaries, and there will be primaries throughout New York State and even some in our area, but there will not be a primary in the town of Mendon. As I've mentioned before, best 3 days in Mendon, the Mendon Carnival, May 30th, 31st, and of course the parade on June 1st. Hope to see you there. As I mentioned, I think last week, I'm stocking up on candy for the parade. Speed. I'm sure many of my fellow supervisors and mayors could attest to this, but we do get frequent complaints about speeding. So please watch your speed throughout the town of Mendon, as well as our neighboring communities. We want it to be safe. And during all the construction in the village of Honeoye Falls on West Main Street, the town of Mendon offices will remain open. Parking is at a little bit of a premium because of the construction, and it'll continue to be a premium. We have staff parking in other places. I'm thinking about dusting off my bicycle to ride to work. So just a reminder that we are open and will remain open throughout this process. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, John. And thank you, Mike. And thank you all for watching. Remember, this program airs every Sunday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Like our page, subscribe to our channel, and those platforms will notify you when the show airs. That's all for this week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.